My name is Barry Allen, and I'm the fastest man alive. When I was a child, I saw my mother killed by the American. Then my father went to prison for her murder. To the outside world, I'm just an ordinary forensic scientist. But secretly, with the help of my friends at Star Labs, I use my speed to fight crime and find other metahumans like me. One day I'll get justice for my mother and get my dad out of prison. Today, I am the Flash. That's the intro for most of the Flash episodes in Season 1. Flash is a very diverse character, and we're going to talk about the history of the Flash, the storylines, and of course the importance on society. The storyline, though, is the fun part. Flash gets struck by lightning. His name's Barry Allen. He's a forensic scientist. He's chilling out in his lab, working late one night, and gets struck by lightning. In the comics, he just gets up from it and starts running. Like, yeah, okay. But in the show, he goes into a coma for 9 months. And he's like surging out the hospital, and they're like, oh, he's dying, his heart's stopping. No, it's just moving too fast. So then, Barry, gaining speed, getting better every day, goes and saves the world, like a million times, when everybody else decides they're gonna try to destroy it, and fights everyday villains, like, he's got several villains, Mirror Master, the Top, all of them. So, the important part about Barry, though, is that he's not the only Flash. There's Wally West, who is the Kid Flash, and there's actually several different Wally West Kid Flashes, especially right now in the comics. And there's his girlfriend and his wife, eventually Iris West, who becomes extremely important. Without Iris, we are not the Flash. So, in the storylines, Barry just spends his life fighting crime, and eventually, all heroes must die. So Barry saves the world with his death, of course, because how else could they kill off a superhero? He's got to do it big. So, Barry is going against a villain called Anti-Monitor, who has a gun with antimatter, who is shooting it at the world, trying to destroy everything. In it's Crisis on Infinite Earths number 8. And whenever he does that, Barry's like, all right, I should probably start running. He goes, there's hope, there's always hope. So even as he's disintegrating, and he's running, he's saying there's hope. So that ends. And they bring him back to life in the Rebirth series. Don't ask me how they pulled that one off, I don't know. But Barry's back. But we still have Kid Flash. Several of them. So, they incorporate Bart Allen, who is Barry's grandson, who's called Impulse. And then they just keep kind of adding new speedsters as we go, and we all are getting more confused as they add them, but we still keep reading. And now the history of the Flash is kind of fun, because you don't get to see things blow up like the Flash did a lot. It starts out in Showcase Comics, just a DC comic line, introducing new superheroes, and then it gets its own, because it's a hit. Everybody loves the Flash. A man that runs at super speed. So then, it gets recreated again and again and again in the comics. And finally, when Barry dies, it's so good that they have to bring him back because people are mad that he's dead. So then after that, they start putting him in the cartoons. He's part of the Justice League. He's getting his own TV show. 1990, John Wesley Shipp plays Barry Allen in the TV show and kills it. And then the Flash was kind of quiet for a while. And then in 2014, the CW picked up The Flash after it had successfully aired, I think, 2 seasons of The Arrow, another DC comic. And The Flash has now been on for 4 seasons. Well, it's 3 seasons and it's a 4th right now. And it's still visiting the different storylines. It even went as far back as to when Barry, who I'm going to bring up in a second, runs back in time and messes up the future. But that's where I'm getting to with the importance of the Flash. When Barry ran back in time, he did this because he was so lonely, he was so hurt that both of his parents were dead. So he runs back in time and saves his mom's life. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that we all know that a ripple in time like that is going to cause a problem. So Barry, when he comes to, sees that he has basically destroyed the world. Everybody's warring, everybody's dead. There's no Superman, there's no nothing. He basically just kind of ruined the timeline, and he thinks the whole time that his counterpart, the Reverse Flash, did it, but it was him. And that goes to show us a lesson that even the fastest man alive, somebody that can run faster than the speed of sound, of light, someone that runs so fast they become the Speed Force themselves, can't outrun pain. Because yeah, he could run back in time and save his mom, but then he gets to a future where he's not the Flash, where he doesn't save people, where Bruce Wayne is dead, and that's not something he wants to live for. So he has to fix it. But don't think there's not repercussions to that either. Moving forward, the Flash teaches us that even when the odds are against you, even when everything is on the table and it's all looking at you like you're the target, there's a way. And that brings me back to one of the storylines where Barry dies. Even though he's running super fast, he's going as fast as he possibly can to save his mom, to save the world. She still dies. He still gets struck by lightning. He still has enemies. Whenever Barry gets to the end of a season in one of the shows, he says that he's just so tired of being miserable and that he's going to fix it. And that's where they brought in the Flashpoint paradox. And that's, Iris has already been introduced. And these are the Kid Flashes. So when Barry goes back in time, the reason that there are two Kid Flashes is because Barry went back in time, and because when he died, like I mentioned earlier, it caused a rift. So there's two Kid Flashes. So after the shows were made and everything like that, we get to the Justice League movie that's coming out, and Ezra Miller is going to be playing the Flash. But the most interesting thing that comes from the Flash storyline that also shows that you really probably shouldn't mess with the timeline, but also that there's a way no matter what, is that when Barry runs back in time, on accident, mind you, he didn't do this on purpose, trying to save the world from the antimatter, he became the lightning bolt that struck himself and made him the Flash. You can't run out, you can't outrun pain, and there's always a way, because if he didn't do that, if he didn't save the world, not only would we not have a world, we never would have had Flash. So the last thing that I'd like to talk about with the Flash is hope. And actually, a lot of people see Superman as the beacon for hope. I don't. The Flash loses everybody. He loses his family. He loses the friends. I mean, literally every season of the Flash TV show, somebody dies. In every comic, someone dies. Like it's not always fun and games. But he still thinks that there's hope. Barry's real superpower isn't his speed. It's his sense of hope. He's got an endless reservoir of it. He always thinks things are going to work out. That's what somebody says, Harry Wells, in season 3 of The Flash. Because Barry thinks that no matter what, it's going to work out. And his hope carries the team 9 times out of 10. So, in conclusion, the storyline was that the Flash, or Barry Allen, got struck by lightning, became the Flash, saved the world, and died doing it. He also, they had him go from comics to movies, TV shows, he's got it all. And then finally, he's a beacon for hope. He shows us we can't outrun pain and that there's always a way. And that's it.